pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. And, you know, there are some people that when they hear what you're about to hear, that do the same. They're like, oh, it's just another thing. It's just another thing. I've heard this one before. And they don't really take the time to really look into what has happened. But I'll tell you guys, this is really one of the most next generation breakthroughs in wellness and health and supplementation that is going to change the whole supplementation industry, in my opinion. I've been in the industry, by the way, for 34 years in the health industry. I was kind of lucky to just kind of stumble into this industry when I was 21 because I wanted to have some massage for some back pain that I had. I was a landscape gardener back then. And suddenly just got interested, and I've loved it ever since. I've just loved to learn more about health and try new things and make an impact on other people. And unfortunately, since then, health was not great in the Western world back then, but it's actually decreased and it's continued to decrease and decrease and decrease. And that's very, very unfortunate, of course. But then it makes it extra important to have something that can truly help people with these things. So our solution here, our mission is to bring advanced health solutions to the world. And if you really feel that you've tried everything and nothing has worked, if you have some kind of a health challenge, this only requires a very, very small upgrade to your daily routine. It takes less than 1 minute and can have a major, major impact. And we've seen this impact already now in Europe here, even though we are brand new, on thousands and thousands of people, and over the world on tens of thousands of people. And we're still in the very, very early stages. It's a breakthrough unlike really anything that you've heard about before. Now, here's the weird thing about our health, state of our health in the Western world. We have a higher level of knowledge around health. We have better education, better medicine than ever. So why is their health in the Western world declining? We see an explosion in sleep problems and diabetes and migraines and stroke and heart disease and autoimmune disorders and so on and so on. Tiredness, like how many people are tired, right? How many people have problems with sleep? Unfortunately, a lot of people, and it's growing. So why is that happening? If our education system is better, if our knowledge is better, what's happening? Well, science is now pointing towards that there's something called chronic inflammation. And just one part of chronic inflammation, or the part of the degenerative conditions that we have today, is called autoimmune diseases, which is estimated to grow by 3 to 9% a year. Just in the UK alone, for example, here 4 million people have developed such conditions, and that we're just talking about the autoimmune ones. Okay. It's just absolutely growing. It's out of control. And unfortunately, science have really not found anything that can do anything about it until now. But it's also important to understand, why is this actually happening? And of course, I mean, I'm not claiming to have all the answers, but what I have found is that scientists in general, they find that there are three reasons. There are three reasons to why this is happening. Why do we have chronic inflammation? And chronic inflammation, what it does is basically disrupt the body's ability to repair and heal and self-regulate. Because that's when we're like 10 years old. We're typically very, very healthy when we're young. And then as we grow older, we get all kinds of problems. Like 50 years ago, it was just not normal to have these problems that you have today. Right, we have so many of these autoimmune problems today that, and again, as I said, unfortunately, it's actually going out of control. So experts point to three things that lead to this inflammation and chronic conditions, and it is increased toxins in our environment. Okay, we all know that there's toxins in our food, in our air, in our water. Number two is less nutrients. There's one study where they had planted spinach in a specific plot of land in California, and measured the content of iron and it fell by 53 times. So the same amount of, to get the same amount of iron in 1997 as you got from one bowl in 1953, you needed actually 53 bowls of spinach. Okay. The third one is stress, and it's a very, very significant one. We live in a world where we're under constant stress. And so when we're under stress, either emotional stress, just work-related stress, or in fact, toxic stress. What I mean, chemical stress from toxins in our body. The need for nutrients increase in our body to fight all these toxins, and unfortunately, our nutrients has decreased. Therefore, that we have this gap that has just increased and increased, and this is what lots of science is pointing towards, the three main reasons why we see these problems. So that's the problem. So, but now Vidify, our company we're working with, has in collaboration with a science lab in Germany, has found a solution that really has been overlooked by others. So really, if you feel you've tried everything and you have a health problem, or you simply want to get the best out of your body and increase your longevity, really pay close attention now, because what we do in here, what we have is something that's been used for thousands of years, combined with a new discovery that makes it up to 277 times more effective. What we're talking about here is turmeric, or more specifically, the main active ingredient in turmeric called curcumin. And there are over 12,000 studies that show how effective this is. We're not going to go into it and bore you to death with all these studies. But there are multiple studies, and you can just go online and just search for, like, for example, arthritis curcumin studies, asthma curcumin studies, whatever it is you want to research, just go on and look. Okay. So here, a great place to look, by the way, is PubMed, because Google is not necessarily Google is like a search engine, but it's not necessarily like a science search engine. So if you go to pubmed.gov, you will find all kinds of studies around the positive effect of curcumin. The only problem is that curcumin actually has been shown to have a very, very poor absorption, because it's what's called a lipid-based nutrient. It's an oil, and as you know, oil and water mixes very poorly, and that's kind of the popular, or like an easy way to understand why it's actually being absorbed very poorly into our cells. But Vidify and this German laboratory has actually found the solution to that with something called a micelle structure, and as I said, it's improving the absorption up to 277 times, or 27,700%. So if just to put that into context, if you take something as the Volkswagen Beetle, which does about, like the old one did about 100 kilometers an hour, that will be what we have is equivalent to a space rocket. The space rocket does about 28,000 kilometers an hour. So that is literally equivalent to what we have compared to regular curcumin, because lots of people say, yeah, I'm already taking curcumin. Well, not much of it is getting into your cells where it can actually do any good. And that's the reason why what we have works so unbelievably. Here's just some of the benefits. It's a very potent antioxidant. It regulates inflammatory response. It can sustain healthy intestinal function, improves cognitive function. It's a cell regenerator, and it's just an overall, really overall booster of your health. Now I want to open up for some stories here from people, because the proof is in the pudding, right? We can talk about the science forever, but if you don't see any proof, you're not going to care. So while I just put a couple of pictures on here, this is from my friend Ebbe in Denmark. As you can see, he had a very severe skin situation going on here, and after 5 weeks, just 10 drops a day, it's down to almost nothing. And this is again from the beginning, and this is after 7 weeks, where at this point he felt that for the first time in many years, he could actually walk in shorts in summertime without feeling embarrassed. Okay, which obviously is amazing for his quality of life. Here's another one. You might think this is BS, but we actually know of this person. So that's absolutely real. And if you don't know it, inflammation, one of the things that inflammation often does is it holds water in the body. So if you really have a high amount of inflammation, your body, especially your feet and your legs, will hold a lot of water, your extremities in general. And so what we've seen is just nothing short of a miracle in terms of some of the results of where people have edema in their feet and in their legs. We have many, many of these. Right. We have tons and tons and tons of stories in our community, in our Facebook group. If you're not already a member, I highly recommend you do that. We also have tons of stories about animals, and animals doesn't have any what do you call this effect? The when you think that something is working, and it's just your own thoughts that's feeling it.
Placebo.
Yes, placebo effect, of course. Yep. Thanks for that. Yeah, so we have tons of stories with dogs. What it's done for me, by the way, before we open up, before we get ready, we'd like to have at least 2 or 3 other people than me tell their story, is just absolutely incredible. I was very unlucky to end up in hospital with very severe pneumonia after having COVID. And my right lung had a decreased capacity of 45%, and my left lung 28%. And I was actually several times in doubt whether I'd survived that experience, but it came out my health was completely destroyed. I couldn't think straight. My short-term memory was insanely bad. General cognitive function very, very bad. Sometimes I had so bad brain fog that I could barely speak. It was like I was struggling to get the words out of my mouth. I had aches and pains in my joints and muscles. I had anxiety and depression. I couldn't sleep properly. I had a little bit of eczema actually in one of my legs. I had sinus problems, like severe sinus problems, severely reduced muscle strength. What else did I remember? Did I remember to say sleep problems? I just had so many problems, I can hardly remember it now. Literally within 45 minutes, I start to feel more calm than I'd done for a long time. And within 2 hours, suddenly my brain fog just lifted. And it was literally in the middle of a business meeting where suddenly words just start flowing out of my mouth like they normally would and should. And after 2 days, started sleeping better. And then after 3, 4 weeks, all my symptoms just went away. And more than I have gained of symptoms after COVID, but actually symptoms that I had for 15, 20 years, like my very persistent back pain also went away. So overall, this has been absolutely incredible for me and so many of my friends. And let's just open up and see if there's somebody here who wants to share. Who's here? Who's been affected?
I know. Yeah, Anthony, go ahead.
I'd like to share my story. I definitely think that Trish should share her story as well, even though it's in Dutch. But concerning mine, I've got heart failure issues, and that's why I'm taking the drops. But I just love the side effects because I found out pretty quick after 5 days, and I didn't really realize at that moment. But I read a certain newspaper at a certain time on the same table, the same kind of lighting, and after 5 days taking it, I just realized that I didn't need my phone to light up the newspaper. And I'm thinking, this is weird. And because I take note of all the things that I eat, et cetera, because I'm diabetic, I just couldn't figure it out. And the only thing that changed was the drops. And I'm thinking, this is weird. I didn't tell anything to Iwan, but after a few days, I just had to ask him. And I said, Iwan, can this affect your eyesight as well? Because I'm brand new to this stuff. And he said with a great big smile, he said, Anthony, it's good for everything in your body. And I thought, well, that's a nice side effect. But at the same time, a nurse checks me 2 to 3 times a week with my blood pressure. And it was either too low or too high. But the last 3 weeks, it's been very nicely between the range and very, very constant. So I'm very stable. So that's just a couple of side effects. But I'm still exploring more. And I don't know if you could help out Trish, because I think hers are quite extraordinary within a couple of days, what she's experienced.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Anthony. And I know also we have Rosha. I haven't really prepared her for that, so sorry to put you on the spot, Rosha. Do you want to share your story?
Yes, definitely. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my journey started with this lovely curcumin this summer, and I just love it because I one of those who worked within an hour. I could walk, and I had a very bad knee pain and ankle pain, and after an hour, when I tried, it's gone. I had very severe pain in my thumb. After 3-4 weeks, I just see it's hurt when I write it, right? And after 4 weeks, I just write up 4 pages, and oh my God, I can't write without a pain. It's just hit me hard. And since I developing every little bit, which really gives me a different life to live my life differently. I don't have joint pains. I can walk more. It's like a must.
You mentioned something about swimming as well, where you can swim
Oh yeah,
far
yeah.
further.
Sure. I Yeah, when I gone to swim before, after 4-5 length, I needed to stop. However, I went to swim after about a month when I started to take the drops, and I could swim like 8-10 length in one go, and I was like, oh my God, I can do that. And previously I couldn't do it because of the pain stopped me. And then after it stopped me because I didn't have more breath.
Mm.
It's amazing. It's different lifestyle. I can walk more. I am much more happier. I am bubbly person anyway, but I'm much more happier. I can sleep better.
Mm.
Even if I sleep 4 hours, I get up like I'm okay. I'm not tired. So
Beautiful.
it's really great.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Who else wants to share? How about you, Ivan?
I can share. Let me go put myself here.
We see you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can share, of course. As many people know, I like to eat. I mean, I have a wife that is cooking so many beautiful stuff, and she's always, even if I tell her, no, I'm on a diet. Well, taste it. Here you go, taste. So it's her fault that I don't look too skinny. Anyway, what the drops are also doing is keeping your blood sugar level longer on one level. And that was so strange for me. So meaning, what does it mean for me? Is that I don't have to keep on eating. Sometimes you might want to watch some TV if you have the time. And it's always nice to have something to drink and something to eat. The urge is not there anymore. I don't need it. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I don't need to eat that much.
That's amazing. And you lost a couple of sizes or something like that, or?
Well, kilos. Yeah,
kilos?
at least 7 kilos at least.
Nice.
You know.
Awesome, fantastic. And we also have Roy Lodick with us. Are you up for sharing, Roy? You're muted, by the way. Or anybody else? Anybody else wants to come? One more, like at least one more story.
Sorry, can I?
Yeah.
Can I
sure.
say something? Yes.
Of course.
So I am as a woman, and I'm developing menopause, and it's really helped me because actually my menopause is my menstruation is start in June, and because I started to drop the middle of the June, I didn't have any hot flushes. I didn't have any cold like usually people are experiencing, and it's really helped me in a transition. And since I don't have any problem,
That's
which
amazing.
I'm just so grateful
amazing.
for this, really.
And your husband must be pretty grateful for that as well.
Of course, because I'm not misery.
Yes.
Miserable.
Like all the husbands in the world, they want to buy this for their wife.
Definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So let's go back to the slides. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. What am I doing now? I wish I was better at tech sometimes, but I am not. So you'll just have to deal with it a little bit until I figure this out. Oh, I think you blocked my ability to share, Ivan. Oh, there we go. Ta-da, and we're back. So, hold on. There we go. So it's not just normal people like us that is raving about it. We also have top health experts in the world. We have, among other, Dr. Jeremy Thornton, who has been an internist for over 23 years. And when he came across this, he was quite skeptical. He's like, oh, I've tried curcumin products before. But he's like, oh, let me try it on my mom. And his mom got some fantastic results. And then he was like, okay, well, let's try it in a couple of patients. And he was like, oh my God. And I did an interview with him, which I highly recommend you listen to. It's only like 13 minutes. And he basically says everything that's really necessary to know about this. But one of the things that really stuck with me is he says, this product changes everything. And now he introduces to practically every one of his patients. So it's well over 1,000 of his patients he's introduced it to, and have absolutely stunning results with it. And you can read more about that and read some of these stories in a Facebook group, Disruptive Wellness, where he also does weekly presentations, by the way, and there's some recordings in there if you want to hear it from somebody who's an actual health expert, not just from regular people like us. We also have Dr. Roy Martina, who has for many, many years been one of the top health experts in the world, actually published 88 books. He's created over 800 health remedies himself. He's trained over 200,000 health professionals. And he says, this is the product I've been waiting for my whole life. I've never seen a product that so effectively helps so many systems in the body and gives us a chance in the fight against chronic inflammation. Every single person on the planet needs biomass technology from Vidify. Right? I also did an interview with him, and you ask the person that invited you if you want to read this or listen to this interview. Well, it's a little bit more longer interview, but he also goes into explaining how a very persistent knee pain that he's tried to do everything for was literally gone or almost gone in like 3-4 days in our product. Right? So if you still doubt it, well, what proof do you need to see? You could go back to the person that invited you and ask them more questions, or you can also go to Google, for example, just curcumin name of disease studies, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find something. And then think about what we have here is curcumin times 277. And it's actually more than that because there's a couple other aspects, including that it stays in the body for far longer than regular curcumin. Regular curcumin is actually metabolized in the body within 3 to 4 hours, where this stays in the body within 24 hours. And therefore, it can do have much more effect over a longer time, right? So yeah, just go and whatever name of disease, curcumin name of disease studies on PubMed or even Google. Probably most of the studies that comes up in Google is actually from PubMed. So that's it. So if you say you tried a lot of things that didn't work, well, I mean, you haven't tried this, right? And technology improves all the time. You get better phones, cars, TVs, and so on and so on. So why not breakthroughs in biotechnology and supplementation? This is one of them. You have not tried this. Until you tried it, you can't say it's not going to work. Okay, it's already worked for so many people on so many different levels. So I just highly recommend just try it. What can happen? You know, there's a 30-day money back guarantee, by the way. So there's really nothing you can lose except the shipping price, right? But who cares? If this can improve your health dramatically, why wouldn't you? So this is the part of the presentation where we basically we allow people to run away if they don't want to hear more, because now we're getting into how you can be part of our mission. If you just want to know about the products for your own health benefits, then you can leave and go back to the person that invited you and ask them for more information, how to get started. If you want to hear a little bit about how you can create a really significant financial result with these products, then this is what we're going to get into right now. So if, for example, you want to have a new career full-time, I think this is it. This is, for me, financially, the best thing that's ever happened for me in my life. When I came into Vidify, I was self-employed as a consultant. I hated my business. I actually, to some extent, hated my customers sometimes. At least I hated what I did. Just sitting in front of a computer all day long, it was just not me. So if you want more freedom, more choice, maybe you want to get out of debt. Like, what would it feel like if you're in debt that you could actually get out of debt? What would it feel like to have an extra income stream that just creates a little bit more financial security? Like if you just had another 500 to 800 euros or 1,000 extra euros per month, what would that do for your peace of mind? Right? I know for myself, I've been in massive financial struggle in the past, and just having that extra money come in has been absolutely massive, massive improvement, even in my health, not just my mental health, but actually my physical health has also improved by the after effects, so to speak, of being involved in a business where now I can sleep soundly every night. I know there's just no financial worry. So really, I see Vidify is the freedom to be you. Whatever that means for you. What is it that you really want in your life? Interestingly enough, I just heard this story. I know I'm kind of geeking out on psychology, right? But I think this is really interesting. There was a study with rats, okay, where they created this contraption where some rats can run on these wheels. But it was made in such a way that rat B was in a wheel that got started when rat A was starting to run. So rat A was calling the shots, right? Rat A was starting to run, and then rat B had to run when rat A started to run. And so what was really interesting is that they measured these rats then and then found out that rat A, that had the choice, had all the biomarkers of increased fitness, right? A lot of health benefits. And rat B had all the biomarkers of high stress. Isn't that interesting? Because rat B did not have the choice. It had to run. It had to run, therefore it stressed out. They did exactly the same thing. They did exactly the same thing, and rat B was stressed out, and rat A was getting all the benefits. And I think that's really, really important, that we create a life that is us, that we do what we want to do, that we feel that we make a difference, that we create a value in life, and we do something that we feel is us. And that's another reason why I'm so passionate about this. So let's go into it. How to spot and choose an amazing opportunity. So I've worked with traditional business for a long time. I've been very lucky to create the second biggest business meetup group in the world on meetup.com. We're almost 30,000 members. And so I hang around a lot of traditional entrepreneurs, and really is what I've kind of found is that when you choose a business opportunity, there's really 6 things that you need to look at. First of all, does this thing, whatever it is, to solve an urgent and big problem, right? Not just a big problem, but an urgent problem. Is it unique? Is it ahead of the game? Is it easy for the market to understand? Because sometimes you can have a product that is so ahead and so foreign to everything that people understand that the market really doesn't take it up because it's just too hard for them to understand. Does it have mass appeal? You know, is this a niche market, or does it have mass appeal? And then the timing. Those are really the 6 things I believe that you should be looking at. So let's take a look at where this fits in. So first of all, does it solve an urgent big problem? Yes. Inflammation. 50% of the Western world have a degenerative condition. Oh my God, I have to practice more on this. Degenerative condition, where the underlying cause is inflammation, right? So we are actually solving an urgent big problem. Is it unique in the world of wellness and supplementations? Yes, it's unique. It's not just antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids like everybody else is selling. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't take that because those definitely have value, absolutely 100%. I'm just saying that it's much, much harder to compete when you're competing against everybody, right? So we're unique. We're definitely ahead of the game. It's a proprietary nanotechnology, natural nanotechnology. It's an extract, natural extract. Almost nobody's heard about it. It really is set to revolutionize the supplementation industry. And this can also be applied to other, or basically any lipid-based nutrients. For example, Q10, resveratrol, omega fatty acids, and many, many more. And we're actually coming out with new products next year with this new biomass technology. It's easy for the market to understand. People know turmeric. I call it turmeric with a turbo, right? It's just like greatly enhanced turmeric. And by the way, some people say, well, I'm taking turmeric with pepperine, right? Well, pepperine does enhance absorption, but whereas you have 277 times enhancement with biomass, you only have 20 times enhancements with pepperine. And on top of that, it's actually been proven, it is in rare cases, but pepperine in higher doses and for extended periods of time actually have a chance of potentially damaging your liver. Okay, so this is something I believe. I mean, like, why would you take something anyway that has 20 times enhancement when you can get 277 times enhancement? It doesn't make any sense. Mass appeal, it has because it's affordable. It really is actually by far the cheapest product I've ever worked with in this industry. I know it's more expensive than you go out in Holland & Barrett or something like that, but you know, like what you get in Holland & Barrett is, you know, it's so ineffective compared to what we have that it's almost ridiculous. Okay, so finally, number 6, it is timing. Almost nobody knows about it. And that's in some ways, it's also a little bit of a bad thing, actually, that nobody knows about it, because some people are a little bit more skeptical. So it takes a little bit more work, maybe sometimes to get people interested. But, you know, it's also an amazing thing business-wise, because let's imagine if you were one of the first investors in Apple or one of the first investors in Microsoft, right? Where would you be today if you were one of the first people to get involved? So that's really it. The timing, you know, every single industry and product goes through different stages. Typically the first 1 to 5 years are very, very tough. You're in the pioneering phase where nobody knows about it. There's not so much proof. It's really pioneers that go out there and push it. And then it starts to take a speed in the 6 to 10 years. And that's where we are now, right? We're about 7 years old. And we're starting to grow with increased speed. So right now, I started in basically just before the 1st of February of last year, and we're now close to 1,600 people in the team, and we are growing rapidly every single day now. There are new people on the team or new customers, and it's just so exciting to see, and especially when we get reports back of how this is making an impact on people. So at some point, we'll hit critical mass, and it's going to go really, really, really fast. And that's, of course, it's very, very exciting. It's already super exciting. We're already having several people in the team that have full-time incomes, many people that have very, very significant part-time incomes, and lots of people who have, you know, beginning in part-time incomes. It's also very important, by the way, it's an added benefit also that you have proven system, tools, and training, because I have started several businesses, and I know how hard it is to start a business from scratch. When nothing is proven, you have to develop everything yourself, right? And what we have here is a product that is proven in the marketplace, and we have the systems and tools and training that basically is a track for you to run on. You'll have your own website and shop as part of the package when you start. That's for free. There is no yearly fee. There's no monthly fee, renewal, and so on and so on. So just think for a moment about how many people you know that, for example, are tired, have poor sleep quality, mood problems, mental health problems, aches and pains. And if you say that you really don't know anyone, I guarantee you it's because they're keeping it to themselves. I guarantee you, right? 50% of the Western population have a chronic condition. So I guarantee you, if you start to ask around and you start to post on Facebook, like my first Facebook post had 23 people that wanted to do more. And I got my first sign up within like 3 hours. So it's really only a matter of starting to ask around, and you'll find people. Like just in the US alone, for example, over 70 million people are suffering just from arthritis. And again, 50% have a chronic condition. So what can you achieve with Vidify and Vidify Business? Well, let's just, look at a couple of examples of how you can recoup your money quickly. We have what is called a GoPro bonus, that if you reach a certain level called Pro, it's a Rapid Pro bonus, in the first 30 days, then you can make up to $780, actually euros, and you can actually get more. But if you, for example, select what's called the 500 kit, and you get other 3 people involved in a 500 kit within the first month, you will make 3 times $120 for every kit that you sign up. And you also make an extra $120 because you did it 3 times. That's $480. And you do that in 30 days and you make an extra $300. And I know that's not necessarily a lot of money, but it is basically paying for your investment. And then you have lots of products for yourself, and you also have products that you can sell from. Also, I mean, think of this. When I signed up, like normally, what does it take to recoup your investment or to get to a level in a normal business where you have reached a level where you're not losing money? It's typically around 3 years. For example, in a McDonald's franchise, it costs about $1.4 million to invest, and it takes about 6 years before you have your money back. Now, with the investment I made, I had my money back within 1 week. 1 week, and I was in plus. And I've been in plus ever since. And especially the last 4 or 5 months, I'm almost feeling that they're starting to overpay me. It's very, 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 very healthy incomes. I would go as far as saying life transforming incomes. Okay. Because suddenly I can start to invest more stuff. I can start to think further ahead, save money, put money aside, things that I haven't been able to do forever, like forever and ever. So it's just amazing. So I know it says $250 here. They actually increased that to $300. So I need to change that. So that's a total of $780 or euros in the first 30 days. And that's, of course, is just the start, because that's active income based on what you do. But the big picture in this business and network marketing is for you to make passive income. And passive income doesn't mean that you're just going to sit back and watch the money roll in. That means that you go out there and work your butt off for a couple of years, and then you start to actually see passive income, significant amount of passive income. I mean, you can start to make the passive income relatively quickly, but it's not going to be millions to begin with. But if you really, really, really focus and you learn the systems that we have created and you go out and you're serious about it, this could be very, very significant. Okay. And I'm super passionate about teaching people why they need passive income, because really, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, like this guy says, Warren Buffett, the world's richest investor, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And the reality is that the world that we are in today developed so fast that we're in a situation that if we don't get more than one income stream, we're in a very, very vulnerable situation. It could be very precarious. You know, our job could easily be taken over by outsourcing to other countries, new technologies, AI, and so on and so on. So really, I feel so strongly about developing more income streams and passive income streams. We won't go into the full details of our passive income, other than I can say that it's really the most rewarding I have ever worked with in 33 years in the industry. I can see we're running a little bit out of time, so I won't have time to actually go into this example in detail. But it's basically, I'll go really, really quickly through it. know, just based on an imaginary idea, that if you talk to 3 people a day, which is 21 a week, and about half will take a look, which is pretty close to reality. That means, let's say just 10 people look. And if you had minimum one customer per week and one entrepreneur, one distributor per month, which is very reasonable estimate. In fact, I think it's a very low estimate. At the end of the year, you would have 52 customers. We know on average, they order two bottles per month. That means 104 bottles per month. You would have made $480 in triple bonuses, $1,440 in startup bonuses, and $19,000 in retail bonuses. So that's about $2,850 per month, okay, on average. And let's just imagine that these 12 distributors who sign up did absolutely nothing, because that basically makes my calculation a little bit easier. But let's now imagine that they actually start now, because now you made some money and suddenly they start to see the picture. They start to understand, hey, there's a business here. So now, second year, they start to do it, and they go out and do the same, talk to 3 people a day, get 1 customer per week, one per distributor per month, and they now have 52 customers each. And now you start to make the passive income. And you will have gone through these leadership levels, and you have made a total of $4,000 in one-time bonus. You have a passive income of $2,500 a month, plus your retail bonus, retail profit. So you'll be making about $5,300 per month, right? Now you have these 144 distributors at the second level that hasn't done anything yet, and now they're waking up, and so on and so on. So end of year 3, it starts to get quite ridiculous. You think that it starts to get quite ridiculous, but with this calculation, you would be double diamond, and which is about 25,000 per month. And then if you did year 4, you would be global ambassador, which is about 250,000 per month, plus some incredible one-time bonuses on top. And you might be saying, well, that's completely ridiculous. But let's just rewind and ask, what part of it is ridiculous? Talking to 3 people a day, getting 1 customer per week, or 1 distributor per month? Is that ridiculous? I don't think so. It's actually very, very reasonable, even on a part-time basis, that you get 1 customer per week and 1 distributor per month. Okay. And I'm not saying you're going to reach this, because reaching this would take learning some skills, to actually leadership skills and so on to get to this. So it's not going to happen by itself. It will probably take more work than you expected. But again, imagine if you could just have another 1,000 euros a month, even 2,000 euros a month, 3,000 euros a month. What would that do to your life? What would that do to your ability to make choices that you've been wanting to make your whole life? Okay. By the way, there's nothing to do with pyramid systems. This is a network marketing concept. Many network marketing, or MLMs, are registered on stock exchanges, and it is absolutely impossible to register an illegal business model on a stock exchange. This is $180 billion a year turnover business industry. The industry is the fastest growing business model in the world right now. And there's many reasons why more and more people get into network marketing. Really, it's a better way to do business. Low startup cost, low running cost, unlimited income potential. You get paid what you're worth, and you can make more money than the people above you. That people think, oh, it's already the people at the top that make the money. No, that's in a traditional corporate structure. In network marketing, you can make more money than the people above you. And I've done that. I'm absolutely certain that actually there are people above me right now making less than I do. I know it for sure. Okay, and I've seen it several times. And in fact, I think there was 1 month that there was somebody in my team making more than me, which I'm super happy about. It's incredible. Like it's a joy for me to see the people making more money than me. So you can do it from wherever you want. Travel the world, stay at home. If we have another major pandemic, which hopefully we won't have for another 100 years, but it will happen at some point. We know that. So it's great that you can stay at home. You have, get this, guys, free research and development department. You don't have to develop any products. You don't have to come up with unique ideas. We have free marketing department, free branding, free tested systems, free training, coaching, mentoring, free websites you can sell from. It's like a franchise. The only difference here is that it doesn't cost you 1.2, 1.4 million to get started. Just really quickly, overview of some recognized people that are either part of the industry or recommend it or endorse it. Bill Clinton, Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, Paul St. Pilzer, Nobel Prize winning economist, and he's a warm advocate. Tony Robbins started his career in network marketing. He's owned a network marketing company. Warren Buffett, as I mentioned before, he's invested in several network marketing companies. Richard Branson, John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He makes more money. He was actually in the previous network marketing company I was in. It's kind of a crazy story how he started making money, but he had a before picture by chance on his screen when he started a presentation, and everybody was asking, how did you lose weight? And he said, oh, it's just this thing. People started signing up, and soon he was making more than $1 million a year, right? So anyway, he makes more in MLM than he does on his book, which is the #1 best-selling ever relationship book. So as I used to say, if it's good enough for Richard Branson and Tony Robbins and Warren Buffett, I think it's good enough for me. So how do you start it? It's very, very simple. You go back to the person that referred you and invited you here tonight, and you basically ask them how to get started, how to choose a pack, choose a starter pack. I think I haven't really adjusted the prices here to euros, so I apologize for that, but it's approximately 1,250 euros for the biggest pack. You get a boatload of products. The middle one is about, what is this, Ivan, 600 euros? 590?
Correct.
Yeah.
600.
About 600 euros, and the small one is about 280 euros. So there's really for every budget here. We recommend that you start with at least the middle one if you're really serious, because that will actually make it easier, as we showed before, to reach that rapid pro in your first 30 days. Okay, but go through these options with with the person inviting you. All I'm going to say, we're not going to push you to buy more than you can afford, but we have seen an incredible demand, and we've seen in many cases that people have sold out of the pack even before they got it. So to recommend, take the biggest pack that you can afford, because the more products you have, the faster you can get the business going, the faster you make money, then the faster it becomes easier for you to promote it to other people to also get started in the business. And yeah, once you sign up, you'll get your products. It's actually old part of the presentation. It's not 7 to 10 days anymore. What does it take? 3 to 4 days typically in Europe? 2 to 4 days?
Correct, on the normal circumstances, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we get paid both monthly and weekly, depending on which bonuses. So, and we get paid with like whatever you make it this week. If it's a weekly bonus, you'll get paid on Wednesday next week. So if you sign somebody up this week, you could get paid already next week, next Wednesday, right? So what I just want to say in closing is like, it's good to be a skeptic, but I would advise you not to be a cynic. A skeptic is a person that says, maybe this does sound a little bit crazy, but I will look into it. I'll do my research. I think you should be skeptical because there's so much shit being sold out there. Sorry to be very, very direct, but there's a lot of stuff being pushed on people that have very little or no effect. So I understand that people have said, oh, I've tried everything. Well, you haven't tried everything because you haven't tried this, right? So, and whatever results you didn't get from all the other ones has nothing to do with us. It's okay to be a skeptic, but don't be a cynic. A cynic is basically somebody who says, oh, I've tried everything and nothing will work. I'm not even going to look into it. I don't want to see the evidence. Don't tell me about it. And, I mean, I don't assume that you are a cynic if you are here tonight, but I'm just saying, take a look. Like going back to the quote of Winston Churchill at the beginning, that many people stumble upon the truth, but most actually just brush themselves off and go on like nothing happened. And I wish for you that you don't do that, because if you take part in our mission, I think it could change your life. So, questions? Any questions?